Today we are going to work on the 3 Defcoptas, the War Boss, and the Def Dread for the bases. And that will mean that these are officially done. Which will then mean no more commission streams until next Tuesday. So, what we're going to do is we are going to get on with the fun, as it were. Hold on. You are supposed to be over here as well. Because you were not based. Okay, so. What do we want to... You know what? I'm going to start on these first. The Defcoptas, because I think it will be easiest to do it that way. And then I will do the War Boss and Def Dread at the same time as well. So thing first. You. I'm going to come over here and have a lay down. And you are the other one that can come off. You are glued on. I have to kind of deal with that. And there's a couple of things I gotta finish up on that one too. Okay, so thing the first. You are started. I can get some stuff on you. We're gonna start with these guys because they kind of need the most work. Let's start with some metallics. No, actually, not start with some metallics. That would be a bad idea. What would be a good idea is putting some water in the old wet palette here. Because she's a little thirsty. Well, you suck, Pluso. Okay. That was actually louder than I intended it to be. We are going to start this guy here. This guy here. This guy here to go away. I want Cadrad. Hey there, Putums. Decided you wanted to sit behind me tonight? Not down at my feet? Ooh, pardon me. Actually, what I need to do, I need to grab the... Why are you... The deuce. I apparently have another weapon to do. Because there's apparently another one of these. So yeah, that's gonna have to get done tonight as well, apparently. Okay. Good to know. But I can get that situated. Oh, yeah, the reason I was going down there. This is gonna be awkward as fuck to do this. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not even gonna do that. I will fill this up later because it would just be end up being a comedy of errors me doing this on stream. So I'm just gonna quickly fill up or top up my water cup. I know it's not perfect solution, but I'm already sitting here, so it will be fine. Okay. Let's get a little bit of red on here because I want this bit here to have been red from another Orky vehicle, obviously. Well, hello to you too, Mr. Popo. Hello to you too. Another quick layer over top of the stuff that I've already put down. That should already be dry. And then that way. I can make sure that's suitably coated for that layer. I'm definitely going to need some metallics. I almost want to paint that up as like a dented pop can. I think that's actually what it's supposed to be, so that's what I'm going to be. That's what I'm going to paint it up as. You know what? It's going to be red. Yeah, it's going to be red. I was thinking maybe grabbing like a Red Bull can and like an image of a Red Bull can. And using it and kind of painting it up like an oversized can of Red Bull. That was thrown out of the cockpit after being crushed because, you know, orcs would drink Red Bull. Actually, no. I think for orcs, I think it would be more like Four Loko. I think that would be more of the orky drink. Um, I want to say. Like, Monster for the non-alcoholic and Four Loko for the alcoholic energy drink, I think, is what the orcs would drink. And of course, like when orcs are drinking it, though, normally they'll like smash the full can on their forehead because you know that's the most dude bro thing to do. And as we all know, all the orcs are dude bros. Not actually this here gray, but we're gonna darken it like we did with the last for these rocks here. Okay. Before I do that, I'm gonna go there. Okay. Let's get that coated with another layer quick. And then down here. Coated with another layer quick. That dry. Okay. So, gray. Need gray. Actually, it's going to be a dark gray with a little bit of brown in it. To be 100% honest, is what I'm going for. So I have some gray here that I'm going to use. Put few drops of you. Take a bunch of this here black, and we're going to mix this in. Eventually it'll start darkening up. There we go. Need some more black. Make this even darker to start. Use a little bit. Oh, no. no leftover brown. Okay, so we're gonna grab some smoky ink then. Because there's none of that left over from last time. Two drops of that down. We don't need two drops. Just needed like a drop. Just need a slight brown tinge to this here gray. We're gonna start hitting rocks. Ooh. Mm. 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 See about catching that while nobody else is throwing balls. I might have a chance. Keep pulling down towards me. Should be leaning forwards. Actually, I should just move my chair forwards. I think that's what I'll do. Maybe that way there's less of a chance of getting swatted in the back by a cat. Okay. So that's the rocks on that one. Now we've got the rocks on this one. They're gonna get done with the same gray. Ah, fuck you, Vibrava. Stupid asshole. Dumb Pokemon. You suck. Well, to be fair, it's probably more me, the person throwing the Pokeball and not catching the Pokemon. That would, in essence, suck in that case. At least you could say that if it wasn't RNG based. And computers always cheat at RNG based things. Okay. A couple of rocks here. Looks like there's one right there. Okay. And nope, that looks like a valve of some sort. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of hold on. I'm gonna do one thing before we start doing the ground color. We're gonna take some of this here black. And we're going to go over these here teethy bits. Make sure I paint around them. When it comes time to paint the ground, which is coming up right away here. I should paint these over here so people can see what the fuck I'm doing. I'm a pro at this, I promise. I know what I'm doing. Okay. And okay, yeah, just making sure shit works. There's that. Okay, and then just a wee bit more black right over here. Oh, hi, Puddums. Yes, I see you back there. But if I go to give you 11s, you'll nom on my hand, and I don't want that. I don't know. Okay, so now is where we start with the mud color. Which is one of the reasons why I kept a little bit of extra of the brown. Because I'm now going to take a bit of the white here. Actually, a bit more of the white. Because I want this desaturated fairly light. Because this is basically going to be the base layer for the mud. And everything that's not rock. And, you know, shell casing. And tree, obviously. Oh, I guess that rock is apparently going to be part of the mud. It's okay. It will work. This mixed up. Hey there, Zephyr. How are you doing? How is your Monday going? Ah. Hey, it's always nice when you figure out those issues that you're having, especially if it's something that's been bugging you for a while. Then it's like, oh shit, it was this, and it's this easy. Nice. Um, I think it depends on how thick you go with your primer coats. To be fair, if you're doing like super fine passes, yeah, you definitely have to do 3 plus. If you're doing thicker passes, you can get away with doing one. Because like these def coptas that I did here, I airbrush or I primed with my airbrush, and I only went over them with one pass. Ah. But I mean, like, yeah, it basically comes down to your methodology and how exactly you're doing it. Yeah, no, and that's what I used on these was the still and res block. But yeah, like I said, it all depends on how heavy you go with the airbrush. And at the end of the day, like if you're going super light with the airbrush, which is awesome, because it shows really good control, you are like I said, yeah, you are going to need like 3 or 4 coats. If you're a little bit more heavy handed with the airbrushing, you can get away with it in one. I'm not all that good with an airbrush, so I end up being kind of like a bull in a china shop when it comes to airbrushing, and I usually take a brute force approach, which is one of the reasons why I don't usually do a lot of airbrushing. Also, time slot as well, because apartment and you know things I've gone over in the past. Want to try and be a good neighbor and all of that jazz. Pardon me. But yeah, like I said, I'm not trying in any way, shape, or form to say that you're wrong with how like for how you do it, if that makes any sense. Um, just yeah, like my experience with that primer is slightly different, but that's because I have a different way of doing things. So like it ends up being kind of coming down to personal preference and style and skill and all of that. Like, yes, 100% I do. I'm always super excited to see what everybody's working on. A dude, a dude. Okay, and what do we got here once this... Ooh, very nice. I like it. I am digging that. I'm digging that quite a bit. Okay, do you have like options for how you can like how you would like to do it, or just you don't know if you want to do something different? Ah, um, I don't know, just like a straight gold, like just a straight built up gold would look awesome with those colors to be like that's what my opinion is anyway. But you know, asshole paintbrush, that whole jazz. This brush is not doing it for me. Not the brush I should be using for this endeavor. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean that off, put that away. We're going to grab this guy. This guy's the one that we want. There we go. Actually, you know what? That was probably the best option. I just need more paint. So, no, it's not the best option. I need something bigger. Maybe you have to clean you off. Okay. So need more of this. By like that much. So a bunch. Then a bunch of white. And some more white. There, that's better. Okay. That's a lot better. Way better spread than the first option. Okay. Now let's get a little bit more right now. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, there we go. Let's get a little bit more of this here mixed together. Come around the back end here. There we go. Come on, paint. Go where I want you. I need a little bit more white so that I keep this desaturation. Fucking fireworks were supposed to stop at 11, motherfuckers. What the hell? It's a good thing I'm not freaking my fucking cat out right now. I think only because these are smaller than the ones that were going off earlier. Victoria Day long weekend. Because Canadians want 2 excuses to light off fireworks and drink. There we go. So this layer here, basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be treating the smoky ink kind of like a contrast paint. And this is just like the initial like base color layer that I'm putting on here right now. And the smoky ink is also the brown that I'm desaturating here to get this kind of beigey, dirty color. as it is. Okay, so there's that. Now this one is going to be fun because I have to do this with this guy on here. And there's also a few more bits on the base that I need for this guy that I need to actually finish as far as base elements. So let's get going. Go. Let's get back over this way. Okay. And let's get more of this mud going here. A bit of water in this mix. Just to make this go just a little bit further. It's more white. It's not desaturated enough. No, it's going to be too desaturated. Yep, too desaturated. There we go. That's about right where you should be. That's better. Thankfully, a little bit of variation in the underlayer is not actually going to hurt anything. If anything, it will add a little bit more variation in the top layer as well, which will kind of sell the effect a little bit better. But I also don't want it too dark. Or too light. I kind of want it somewhere in the middle, really. Because that will allow me to make sure that the mud that this is flying over looks right. Hmm. Don't know if I actually want that one. Okay. There we go. Okay. Too much water. This will fix it. Well, kind of hydrophobic on me for a minute there. There we go. Okay, so there's that one. So now I'll go back to this one here. And this is where we take pardon me. We're gonna use this one again. Smoky ink, where'd you go? Where'd I put you? Right there. Yep. Have a puff off the vape. And 6 drops of that. We're gonna go a couple of drops of this. That much is fine. And then we're gonna go 6 drops of this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, once we have all of that in a little pot here, we're gonna mix all this shit up. So the first thing I added in was the smoky ink. The next thing I added was a little bit of surfactant. I'm using Golden Wedding Agent. A little bit of dish soap in some water would work. Basically, all you really want it for is just to kind of break the surface tension of the paint. And then just kind of daub it on. I'm going to use a different brush for this, because this brush will not work. Well, it will in some of the thinner spots, so I'm going to keep it off to the side, but this is where this brush will shine. Don't even really need that much on there. There we go. That's a good amount. Because I can then come around and make this look all nice and muddy. If I need to hit some spots up again, like with the red or the black, I can do that. And it's not going to be on there too thick, so that I won't be able to, like, kind of get it off. But I can kind of work it around in such a way that goes from looking just like a normal base, looking like mud. Funny how that works. That one's going to be a little bit more difficult to get done because I'm going to have to, like, move it around and jostle it and whatnot. Yeah, we're just kind of stippling this on here. Just kind of going around, working through some of the cracks and crevices. Every now and again, put a little bit more on, because we want this to be not necessarily uniform and muddy, but kind of uniform and muddy, if that makes sense. There's a few spots that I'm going to be hitting up again. Like, I'm probably going to do that metallic again. Actually, I might even hit it with some of the rust effect. Well, rust effect, quote unquote, that I have. It's more like a wash that kind of looks rusty. But hey, it kind of works, and it'll work for that, no problem. I don't want to hit you. Yeah, that works. Kinda. Sorta. be a little bit darker right about there. All right, there we go. Here's that. Okay, maybe I didn't need that for the thinner spots. I probably should have used that for the like spots in between stuff. To be fair, but it didn't. Do actually want to use this for some of these here rocks because I do want them to be more gray at this point. There, that's better. Now I need to do a little bit of bone color because I have some scullies to do. And you always want to make sure you paint scullies correctly. Take a little bit of this here brown. We're going to move this over here. Pardon me. We're going to clean off the brush. Clean off the brush. Actually, you know what? We're not going to worry about that because that's going to take forever because that brush is dirty at the moment. Like, really fucking dirty. We are going to grab a new brush for a minute. Grab the cad yellow. And we're going to take literally just that much. We're going to mix this in with the brown. So this is the smoky ink, the Vallejo smoky ink that I'm using for the brown. A little doot of cadmium yellow. And yes, in this instance, doot is a technical term. And then we're going to desaturate the fuck out of this with a whole bunch of white. What we want is like a sandy off-white color. A little bit more desaturation in that. Basically, because like bone is not pure white usually. Like unless it's like perfectly fresh, there's a little bit of brown to it from everything I've seen. People may disagree with me, but I really don't care. You can disagree. You have that right. And we're gonna actually bring out. You know what? I am going to need. Where's 00? 00. I'm gonna need you. I don't want 000 for this. That's not 10. You're 000. There we go. Hey there, Alex. How are you doing? Fucking just stay where I put you in my hand. Kind of sad, actually. I didn't get to run my game this week because my internet was down. Actually, I didn't get to run either of my games this week because my internet was down. That was a big kick in the nuts. I should probably do this over this way a little bit more. Might, be a thing I should do. Because unfortunately, when Mother Nature decides that there's a big storm rolling through, sometimes the internet decides it doesn't want to work afterwards. Because, trees falling on power lines and cable lines and whatnot. Okay, let's hit you. And what's worse is while I could have used that time like efficiently and made some content for YouTube and whatnot, I was a lazy motherfucker and just blew through a bunch of data on my phone watching anime. Which I do definitely like the kind of wet blending into the mud that's going on with these. And I'm going to have to kind of probably give them a little bit of a dry brush afterwards. Do need to deal with that. We might have to actually deal with that in a minute, unless. There we go. Gotta hit the side of your head too, apparently. There we go. Okay. We'll pop back to this one for a minute. We're going to clean off this here brush. We're actually going to put away the wet palette for a little bit because we got some brass to paint and some other metallic gigas and whatnot. Actually, you know what? I've changed my mind. I'll do one thing first before I go to the metallics. Hey there, Liz Fraga. How are you doing? Not too bad.
Bitch, I'm adorable.
Long weekend this weekend. Hey there, Zophiana. How you doing? I would love to. I don't think she's actually in the channel. Yes. Tonight. Nice. That's great to hear, Luis Fraga. I could not run either of my games this weekend because I had no internet. Ooh. Very nice. I like. Yeah, I was not pleased. There was like a really big. Or are you going, oh, okay. She does stream every now and again. Yeah, it does 100%. I blew through a metric shit ton of data, keeping myself entertained over like the 2 days that I was out of internet because my internet went out Saturday, basically early afternoon Saturday, like 1 o'clock, and didn't come back to until like I think it was like 10:30 this morning. Amusingly, right after I called my internet provider and was like, "Well, what the deuce? What's taking so long?" They're like, "Well, we don't know. We kind of have to wait on Rogers. There's, everybody's out in your area." I'm like, yeah, okay. I kind of figured that was going to be the answer. I just wanted to call and complain anyway. And then, yeah, within like 30 minutes of me hanging up the phone, my internet kicked back on. So, like, can't really complain there, other than the fact that, like, it really, really sucked because I wanted to play it, like, I wanted to run both games. But that's okay. That just means I have another 2 weeks to find another player for my game. By the way, if anybody has Saturday evenings around 6:30, 7 o'clock free every other weekend and wants to play D&D, hit me up. I need at least one more player. Just know that, it's streamed, so you get to entertain the like 5 people that come and watch me run D&D. Okay. So, nothing else I need to get with this. Now it's Syntactics. Brass. Well, it's a little bit early for you. Or late, however you want to look at it. Because that's like starting at like midnight, 1 a.m. for you, I think it is. No, wait. Because it's like 9:18 there right now, right? You're like 8 hours ahead of me. Okay, so you're 6 hours ahead of me. So yeah, it would be like midnight, 1 a.m. start time for like you. And yeah, I don't expect anybody to volunteer for that. There were other shell casings. There's that. Also a shell casing. Should probably do this over here. Oh, yep, there's one right there. Play everybody's favorite game. Find the shell casing. Okay. There's a couple on here. Oh, yep, there's at least one. There's that. It's a regulator for something. No, I do want to do it metallic. I don't want to do it brass, though. I think I'm going to go with gunmetal gray and then hit up the rest of that with gunmetal gray as well. And then do the actual knob itself black. Where I put you, gunmetal gray? There you are. Ooh. Try to catch it with a normal Pokeball. I can do it. I believe in myself. Oh, the ladder loose frog is gonna just steal it on me, like he always does. The big stealer. Yeah, that's right. I called you a stealer. Because that's what you are. You're a stealer. There we go. One of us should catch it. So you get more balls by buying them from the shop. You get money by basically being active in chat for anybody who participates in the Pokemon community game. You level up your Pokemon themselves by battling them against other people's Pokemon, which you do through the little panel dealy. I have only ever battled like once, and I got my ass kicked because I didn't have good enough Pokemans. Haha. Come on. There we go. Okay. I want to make sure this is fairly nice looking before we go ahead and make it all grimy and gritty looking, obviously. Because before everything was grimy and gritty looking, it was, at one point, nice looking. That is the way things go. Okay. Now, what we are going to do... Actually, we need some brass for this.
Bitch, I'm adorable.
Bit. Hey there, Stolen. How are you doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. That's not what I wanted to do. Clean that out. How have you been doing? No worries, no worries. You are the person who created them. So, of course, I'm going to give you credit. And now there's an integrated way to do so. Which I am super stoked about. There should have been from the... Oh, nice! But yeah, there should have been a way to attribute people for, like, emotes and shit like that right from the get-go. Because, like... Yep, we... Caffeinating. I keep forgetting, I do have to make one slight adjustment to one of the emotes so that one of my animated emotes could actually look correct. Basically, I need to download GIMP and flip the axe 180 degrees. Because that is the only direction that the spin, like the default spin one that Twitch gives you, goes. And I haven't gotten around to like essentially just flipping the axe 180 so that it spins in the correct direction because I'm lazy. Being the long and the short of it. And I'm also kind of amused by it. I like to think that it's going so fast that it looks like it's spinning backwards. Kind of like a car rim when it's going at really high speed. There we go. Okay, is there anything else I need to toss brass? Or oh no, there is one more thing I need to toss some metallic on. And I think that is dry enough that I should be able to do it. And I'm definitely going to leave that on there. I just need... You know what? I'm going to use the gunmetal gray rather than the silver for this. Exactly. I was very tempted because, like, this basically looks like a crushed pop can that I'm painting right now, the ends of right now, and that's what I'm painting it as. But I was very tempted to look for a like a Red Bull can on my phone to use as the inspiration, because or like a Four Loco can. I think would have probably been a good idea as well. Because orcs would drink Four Loco, like 100%. Like Four Loco, they would drink as their alcoholic beverage of choice. Non-alcoholic beverage of choice is Monster. But the type of person that'll take like a huge chug out of the Monster first, then open up like a 4-hour energy and pour that into the Monster, like what's left, and then mix it up some more and then chug the rest of that, or 5-hour energy or whatever the fuck it's called. Oh, it actually looks really fucking good. What do you mix 5-hour energy in with your monsters? I know. Like that's why I didn't that's why I didn't do that one as the rolling one cuz oh, sweet. Thank you very much. That is super fucking awesome. You are the best. That's not so bad. So at that point you're basically drinking a monster. Like really. It basically amounts to the chemicals and caffeine that you get out of a monster. I shall remember that. There we go. Okay. So, now... Yes, I need... Pardon me. Wooden tone. Oh, I can't wait until I have my new wet palette. It'll be so nice. I just have to remember to clean the paint cups more, like, regularly than I do the ones for this one. Okay, I need to step away for a moment. I will be right back. Alrighty, there we go. Sorry about that. And it should, because you are fucking awesome. No. The only ones that I like are the coffee flavored ones. And usually with that, I'll either go with the Irish cream or the mocha. Or not Irish cream. They have the mocha one. Is it Irish cream? Yeah, they have an Irish cream one. And this is coming from somebody who at one point kind of lived off of Monster. Okay. Let's doot, 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 doot. I am. I am currently doing the basing for Anarchity's orcs. These are actually the last bits of the orcs, to be precise. I have the basing that I got it. What, and tell me to put down the brush? So in the panel down that way, you will see a like a little backpack icon at the top of it. You click on that, and then you'll see a and like the top of that window that brings you to, you'll see two little like word like at the top it'll say shop and then like battle shop or something like that. Click on shop and you scroll down a bit and you'll be able to buy Pokeballs, Great Balls, and Ultra Balls. Yeah. But like that was basically my thing. Like is some like if I ended up like hitting the lottery or something like that, like my buddy Shane and I go in on like a little lotto pool between the two of us. And if I won it, I would that's basically what I would end up doing is I would invest it in making a small business where it's like, yeah, you know, there's gaming tables, there's, you know, a small like cafe where you can get like sandwiches and small meals. Fucking there and there'd be space where you can go and actually like build your terrain or your, you know, whatever it is you need to build for your whatever game, be it like terrain or uh, like dioramas, stuff like that. Like as would I. That's why I was like, yes, this is like that's something that if I would have found that when I didn't have space really to do any sort of like miniature painting, or you know, have some like small compact size power tools there. Have a small CNC machine there. Have a small like you know a small bandsaw there. Stuff like that. And then obviously look up what you would need for insurance for like a maker space like that. But I mean, I think that would I think there would be enough of a call for that it would make a metric shit ton of money. Because there's a lot of people that live in apartments and don't necessarily have the space for that sort of equipment or the money to buy that sort of equipment. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't see a lot of people in like the miniature painting community going to like more traditional normal maker spaces to fulfill those needs. Though it could happen. So basically what I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of going around these little what I kind of painted as albino squigs that are sitting in the mud, and I'm just kind of muddying up the bottom of them a bit where they kind of sit in the mud. Kind of tried, they're not separate from it. They're wallowing in it. They're going to be a little dirty. Even if it's just around the bottom edge of them. There we go. There's that. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Okay, so bases are mostly set. Now, what I need to do is you need to go on your side because I need to work on some other stuff about you. So I'm gonna need... Where'd you go? Where'd you go? What the deuce? Why can't I find the brush that I want? This is how you know when you have too many brushes, when you're like, I can't find the brush that I'm looking for. Oh, that is definitely awesome. I am glad I could be of assistance. Let's make sure. Cool, you're all metallic. You're all metallic. I'm gonna do. Do I want to do those same or different? Ah, fuck it, I'm gonna do them same because it makes sense, and I can always put a little bit of like an oil wash on afterwards. To make dirty the up just a little bit. But what we're gonna do now is for that wood, not in that one. That was the wrong one. Oakley dokley. Now we take this brush here. We go into the light brown. Kind of mix that just a little bit. And we're going to start by going over with just a preliminary coat of brown for the wood. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over this with some of the Army Painter Strong Tone once it dries. That is going to get right into the cracks and crevices there. And hopefully bring out the grain and make this look like it is a piece of wood and not just a brown thing with grain carved into it. But I may need to put another layer on depending on how translucent this paint goes on. Which is fine, I can do that. That's no big thing. Okay, there we go. That's because nobody threw a Pokeball at it. Jeez, game. Okay, there we go. Let's get that. I'm assuming what's coming out of there is supposed to be smoke and not fire. At least that's what I'm going to, like, how it's going to be reflected when I get around to painting that part of it. Because, yeah, that's what makes the most sense to me. Anyway. And since I'm the one who's painting it, that's what matters. do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. A little bit of paint on the back of it. Just to get rid of some of that black. close enough. Okay, there we go. Now, clean this off. And take strong tone. Give it a quick mix up. Toss it on the palette. And then we're going to work that into the wood. Make that actually kind of look like wood. Okay, so you're going to come over this way. Just need a little bit of you. You don't need a lot of you at all. Just going to kind of do one of these. It's a little bit too much on the brush. Maybe a little bit more on the brush. That was still that. That didn't work out as well as I wanted it to. The other side might actually work out though. That doesn't look it. No, it's not wet at all. So I don't think it is. Doesn't look it. Ooh, that's actually not looking too shabby. Do have to hit a few spots just to kind of darken it up and bring that grain out a bit. How so? Like whether to build them up as Chaos Knights or Imperial Knights? Because the answer to that is always Chaos Knights. Like straight up, always Chaos Knights. Okay, so you go back in there. 0, 0, that's what I want. Okay. So my opinion, get some magnets, magnetize your weapon options, and then that way you have all of the weapon options. And it's actually really not that hard to do. Because like they all click into the part that connects to the shoulder. So if you basically just magnetize that connection, you can just clip on whatever weapons you want. Well, then get you some magnets, son. Like seriously, in the end, it will end up saving you money. Without magnetization, I would have had to buy probably double the amount of knights that I have in order to get all of the weapon options that I wanted. For just like the various loadouts that I like to run. But I also enjoy magnetization too, so that's, you know, that's me. Like, black. The tip of that. Alrighty. Well, thank you for stopping in, definitely, if you're meandering off. Thank you very much. And you have a great day. I definitely appreciate you coming and hanging out. It is always a pleasure. I do definitely hope to see you back. Okay. Come on. Don't fucking drop the piece. Okay. So we're going to do this before we get to the metallics. And we're going to try kind of wet blend the black up to gray. So I'm going to take a little bit of white and bring that into here. Black a bit. Bring that out a little bit more because I do want to be a little bit more gray at the very bottom there. Up towards the middle too. bring that a little bit closer that way. Unfortunately, because of the angle that I'm doing it at, it's a little bit more difficult than I would like it to be. But we're gonna try and kind of soldier on through. Get this done right so that, you know, it's viewable. Okay. And I do want this up here to be basically white right around this area. There we go. A little bit of a gradient in that. Dark gray kind of going to a white. And what we're going to do is we are going to take one of the, this brush here, actually. I'm going to take a little bit of white on the end. And a little bit of dry brush. Just kind of lighten it up just a touch. There. Now it kind of looks like some wispy smoke coming out of the back of a rocket. Almost like I know what I'm doing. Shh, don't tell. People might believe you. Okay, so now this needs to go on one of these guys. Because I need to actually prime that today in order to get all of this done today. Okay. Do 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 do. There's actually a lot of work that was needed to go into these duders that I did not realize was left. Actually, there's a little bit more too. Okay. Ah, get off of me. Stupid thing. I should probably do this over here. It's slightly more visible to everybody but me. There we go. Now we're going to take this guy here. We're gonna doot. Can I get in that way? Not really, no. So this is going to be something that's more on this side of it. Okay. Now. Okay. Is there anything else I really need to do on that one? Not really. No, there is not. We can go over this way. Work on you next. Okay. I think the first, I want this one. Minute. Let's do this over this way, shall we? Debating on whether or not I want to do the elbow portion on this red as well. I'm thinking about it. I think it would look pretty cool, and then do either A, black, or B, go over this part in just like a metallic. So I guess I'm doing the elbow red. It has been decided. Might not do it metallic. I might do it black. And then that way too, it'll prevent this, like the base, this part of the base itself from looking all samey. Granted, if I've done my job right here, people are going to be looking at the mini more than they are the base. So there's that. Okay. Let's get that situated there. Okay. There we go. bottom. Alrighty. There's that. Oh, one more spot that I gotta get to with the red, which is right there. Not sure what that's supposed to be. Like, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be part of the thing that it's kind of sticking into or what. So I'm doing it separate because I can. Okay, so now black needs to go on that dealy. Okay. And then I just need to do some chipping effects on this. Make it look kind of weathered. I think that tooth there I'm going to do in some sort of metallic. So the Stellenres, or Stillenres, however you want to pronounce it, the black that they have for a primer, it almost seems closer to a super dark gray than anything. Like, it doesn't seem, in comparison to like a Mars black, it doesn't seem all that black, if that makes any sense. Like, there's a noticeable difference between the two. Okay. Oh, nice. Now, when you say you got yourself a devilfish, do you mean you downloaded yourself a devilfish or you bought yourself a devilfish? Oh, nice. Hey, not saying, that there's anything wrong with it either way. Because to be fair, I would download a car. Wait, I think only people in North America would get that reference. Because that was a super niche fucking PSA that we had to deal with. Would you download a car? Yes. Yes, I would. Oh, they had. Wow. I honestly thought they were just like a North America thing. Yeah. Yeah, I'd download a house. Fuck, this day and age, you almost have to. Ooh, I don't have one of those.